Hello there! Criminal mastermind Balam lives behind bars, which does not prevent him from making huge money and having complete control over the Mafia that has spread its roots into the police, prisons, and even the government. In this position, the man is practically invulnerable, until Jack Stone, who is ready to do anything to avenge the cruel villain for the death of his wife, gets involved. A guard puts on an all-black suit with an impenetrable mask and protective plates all over his body, designed to induce fear and unquestioning obedience from the prison's inmates. He discovers a pack of cash in his locker, and after setting aside his share, makes his way through the corridors of the institution, receiving access to increasingly secure sections from his colleagues. He reaches the most restricted part, a room where another guard, who does not look like a prison employee at all, stands at the entrance. He treats the man with no respect whatsoever.
Я хочу от Балама добро, чтобы тебя убить.
Behind the door is the residence of crime boss Balam, who handles questions on shipments of illegal substances over dinner. The packaging takes place right there, in the prison cells. New prisoners arrive, including Jack Stone, a former policeman. He is subjected to an initial search.
First a cop, then a cop killer.
He is doomed to be hated by both the guards, who consider him a traitor, and by the inmates, many of whom have been incarcerated because of him. So Jack immediately receives several blows with a club from the warden. And in Jack's hands, he holds an anchor talisman, which reminds him of the happy moments he spent with his beloved wife. Retrospective. A man in a sharp suit enters a bank while his two masked accomplices climb to the roof of the building. They cut the wires, plunging the halls of the bank into darkness. The man pulls out a gun, telling everyone to get down on the floor. He shoots back at the guards and declares that he wants the bank's money, not the visitors, allowing them to leave. The robber finds and takes the bank's manager hostage, so he opens the vault. He empties the vaults of money and also takes papers, flash drives, and discs, which he puts in a separate bag. Leaving, the robber sets the vault on fire. His accomplices join him and they begin their escape. On the street, however, they are met by a group of Russians who immediately open fire. For this case, the robbers are armed with grenades and successfully repel the attack, but precious time is lost, and a car with flashing lights manages to arrive at the scene of the crime.
Mark, hash down with me!
The police quickly manage to eliminate the two criminals. The bandit in the suit rushes off on his own 2 feet, dropping all but one bag. The lawman follows on their heels. In a multi-story parking lot, the criminal dumps his loot, which is secretly picked up by another accomplice. The chase continues on the upper levels of the parking lot. While waiting in ambush, the robber knocks out 2 pursuers and takes their weapons, but one officer catches him off guard nonetheless. At the prison, the newcomers are led into the common room to the hooting of a crowd in orange suits. The tattooed thugs assess the strength of character of the newcomers, as well as the possible benefits for themselves. Among them, Jack notices a slow, crooked man in glasses, who is engaged in a humiliating activity for prison, mopping the floors. Stone walks into his cell and is soon approached by a dark-skinned fellow named Silva, who has recognized him, and he welcomes his new neighbor in a surprisingly friendly manner. And a young girl, a journalist named Sinclair, gets the very bag they managed to steal from the bank thrown under her door. Inside it is not money, but discs, flash drives, and documents. One of the inmates, Simeon, and his cocky buddies offer the newcomer to pay him for protection inside the prison. He knocks one of the men out for refusing. Next in line is Stone.
My name is Simeon.
The hero understands how the prison laws work and does not hesitate. The weird janitor in glasses secretly helps him during the fight. Balam wants to speak to Stone face to face, and the prisoner is taken to a special room. The mobster, however, is not going to risk it and speaks to the hero only over the radio. He manages to run things perfectly from his fortress, and there is $1 million bounty on his head from the outside. Detective Jack Stone has caused him a lot of trouble throughout his career, and the boss is surprised that he pleaded guilty to be in the same prison as him. It turns out that it was from his vault that the cops stole the documents, and Balam wants to know where he hid him. Jack only smirks back.
Have it your way. I will make sure you die like your wife.
We see the episode in the parking lot again, and the burglar finally reveals his identity. It's Jack Stone. He accuses the surprise policeman of betrayal and the death of his wife.
I had a family.
So did I!
At night, Jack is attacked in his cell. In hopes of catching him off guard, one of the guards at the control panel turns the camera away, but Stone turns out to be ready and quickly knocks out the 3 assailants. Tricia Sinclair goes to a meeting with Attorney Johnson to report her findings. There, she is intercepted by her assistant, Mark Crane. He knows about the case of Jack Stone and insists that the girl tell him everything so he could pass the information on to the prosecutor. Sensing something wrong, the experienced journalist refuses and hastily leaves the office to catch the attorney on his way out of the courthouse. She has evidence of police corruption, and Tricia suspects that the head of the criminal network, Balam, and Stone are cooperating. They ended up in the same prison, although the policeman should have been executed for the murder of his partner. The attorney listens carefully to the journalist and agrees to take the case. Afterwards, Tricia visits Stone in prison. Jack surprises her by stating that he is the one who sent her the documents. The only thing he asks is to use the obtained information for the investigation. Jack once again twirls his wife's birthday present, an anchor, that symbolizes the support and encouragement of her husband for the woman. But Stone could not save his wife and give her the support she needed. His thoughts are interrupted by the janitor who is knocking on the cell door. He introduces himself as William.
Pretty important around here. When there's blood to be cleaned up off the floors, I'm the one they call.
He cautions Jack. Simeon, the guy he had a fight with, is Balam's cousin. And even the wardens avoid problems with the mafiosi after all. Meanwhile, things are not calm in the women's unit of the prison either. The instigator, Aliona, is taken away by the guards so that Balam can scare her for breaking discipline and attacking Katerina, who works for the head of the Mafia. Together with the girl, Simeon and the 3 inmates who attack Stone are standing on their knees. All of them are punished, not only for misbehavior, which the boss does not accept, but also for the embarrassing failure that cast a shadow over his own reputation. He takes the problem into his own hands and puts a price of $100,000 on the head of his nemesis. William again warns Jack of the coming danger, and soon the guards kick all the prisoners out of the exercise yard. The first contenders of the big score appear. The janitor turns off the surveillance camera in advance and leaves a mop by the wall, which Stone immediately takes advantage of. William himself does not stand by and again helps the hero come out of the fight unscathed. It turns out Attorney Johnson is involved in dirty business. He reports directly to Balam that the journalist has obtained evidence of the Mafia's crimes.
I am not going down for this.
Then it's simple. The woman must die.
According to the mob boss, Stone won't live to see the end of the day either. Tricia manages to get to her car unharmed, although she already suspects that she is now involved in a dangerous adventure. And now Jack is being attacked by guards, who don't mind getting a payday bonus. 3 of them ambush him in the laundry room, but the batons end up being used on the attackers instead, and their equipment doesn't help protect them from the former cop's precise blows. There are 9 more prisoners waiting for him on his way out, but Stone manages to scare them off with just words. $11,000 each isn't a big enough price for the injuries he'll inflict on them in the fight. Back at home, the anxious Sinclair is frightened by her friend Allison, who lives with her. She tells her that she has uncovered Balam's drug network, which has the names of police officers, officials, and prisoners. And Jack Stone, on the contrary, wants to stop the mobsters. Aliona, meanwhile, approaches Katerina to apologize to her at Baham's behest.
I am waiting.
But this time, the girl lets her rival knock her out and is taken to the hospital. She tricks the doctors and steals a paperclip from the folder. As soon as the medics leave, the perpetrator uncuffs herself and steals medication from the lockers. She sneaks out into the hallways, hiding from the security cameras, and silently enters the back room. There, the key to the ventilation shaft, hidden in William's bucket, who had previously given her signals, awaits her. Stone goes on another date with the journalist. Tricia learns from the man that he was turned in by his partner, the same one that Jack threw down from the great height in the parking lot. He wants those responsible for his wife's death punished. Aliona, in turn, makes her way down the shaft, drawing a map of the prison on her belly with a marker. Then she returns, and William distracts the nurse, who nearly catches her escaping. Stone tries to find out how long the janitor has been working undercover. William is an FBI agent investigating the same corrupt Balam network. He has been in prison for 6 months. Jack needs to know if the agent will get in the way of him taking down Balam, but their dialogue is interrupted by yet another bounty hunter coming for the cop's head.
Oh yeah!
William covers for his new friend and informs him that he's not the only agent in the facility, and Jack should be ready when the janitor gives the signal. William is told off by the prison director, who asks him why he got into a fight. Now he's already gotten into a scuffle and injured a Balam's man. The director is also corrupt. He wants $10,000 to protect the janitor from the boss's henchmen. The journalist arrives for yet another meeting with the prosecutor, but the omnipresent assistant Crane is waiting for her there again. He insists that the girl reports everything she knows to the FBI. Balam is informed that a woman has come to see him and he should make time for her. The boss leaves his lair surrounded by guards. Aliona uses medication and fakes an illness. She is taken to the nurse's station again, but this time, she and William attack the guards and make some kind of mixture in the back room. Balam sees Alicia, his daughter, behind the glass. She hasn't seen her father in a long time. She was told that he died heroically defending his homeland. Someone sent her the classified documents, and now she is very disappointed that her father is accused of human trafficking, murder, and smuggling of illegal substances. William uses the newly made concoction, and it causes the guards to fall unconscious. He sits down at the door controls, and Aliona takes control of the security cameras. Balam lies to his daughter's face that all accusations made against him are slander. She does not believe him, and refuses to accept him as her father. Balam warns his daughter of the danger that now threatens her. His enemies are not sleeping. The head of the Mafia is about to return to his cell block, and Will and Aliona have already prepared to intercept him. They unlock the doors of the punishment cell, letting Stone out. Jack knocks out the guard and puts on his uniform, starting to move through the prison maze following the agent's instructions. But time is running out. There's already a security guard who has forgotten the keys inside, standing behind the door. The director walks by and notices this scene, unlocking the door with his key. The mission is compromised, and Stone is still far away from Balam. William is also discovered, at which point Jack offers to open all prison doors altogether. The prisoners sense the smell of freedom and begin to riot. Balam attacks the guards and runs into the crowd. Together with Stone, they search for each other as they make their way through the chaos of the mutiny. Aliona hears Katerina screaming and goes into the kitchen to settle the score with the boss's accomplice. And there, the girls pounce on her with knives. Allison, the journalist's friend, receives a call and attacks Sinclair, demanding she hand over all the original documents to the Mafia. The girl is holding a gun and is very determined. William meets Jack and tells him where to look for Balam, while Aliona deals with Kat. Stone enters the fight and receives several serious wounds from Simeon, who has concealed a shiv. Silva helps his fellow inmate by pouncing on the big thug, Balam's right-hand man. Trisha beats the gun out of Allison's hands, and they start a scuffle in the apartment. The traitor is eliminated at the very last moment by attorney's assistant, Crane, who has been trying to gain the journalist's trust the whole time. He also turns out to be an undercover FBI agent. William, meanwhile, doesn't pass up a chance to pay back the scoundrel director and his corrupt guards. He single-handedly stops an entire squad that threatens to crush the Riot and stop Stone. While Jack is trying to stop the bleeding, an assault team enters the prison. The hero finally hears Balam's voice and finds him in the courtyard. They're left face to face.
What? Elizabeth! It wasn't personal, just business.
Balam is well trained and delivers crushing blows to the wounded hero on the ground. But Jack still overcomes the pain and finishes off the enemy. The mob is decapitated forever. Jack makes his way through the vent into the back room, where William meets him and introduces him to his partner, Agent Childs.
Look, off the record, I'd like to thank you for what you did. Eliminating Balam and his men. You've opened the cover.
Will explains that Stone will still have to be arrested. However, Attorney Johnson will be arrested along with him, as well as many other officials and police officers involved in corruption and murder. As always, look for the movie title in the description of the video. In the meantime, let us know in the comments if you immediately realized who the attorney's assistant was, or if you doubted him until the end. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like to make sure more awesome stories are released as often as possible.